My full name is Shelly Colman. So when I was a kid, Shelly was an unusual name for a girl because it was the early 1600s, and wasn't. I mean, I'm sure most of you know at least one Shelly now, or you know someone who knows a Shelly. And I'm just Shelly. I'm not Michelle or Rochelle or Sheldrake or anything like that. It's just Shelly. But when I was a kid, I spent most of the time telling people my name over and over again. It's, what's your name? Shelly. Shirley? No, it's Shelly. Sheila? No, it's Shelly. Kelly? No, it's Shelly. Jilly? No, it's Shelly. Miriam? Yes. My name is actually Miriam. I mean, it's spelled Miriam, but it's pronounced Shelly. And then my dad, because he thought our lives wouldn't be hard enough, he took the E out of the common spelling of Coleman. So now it's just Colman, which seems pretty simple. Apparently not. I have seasonal allergies. So every summer, I would have to go to the pharmacy and get my prescription for antihistamines. For 1 year, I started going to Duane Reade. Oh, the first time I went, I asked them if they had my medication, and they said, no, we don't. And I said, did you check the spelling? And they said, no, we didn't. So they checked the spelling, and there it was. The next month, I called in advance. And I said, hey, my name is Shelly Colman, Colman. Do you have my prescription? And they said, yes. And I said, are you sure? And they said, yes. And I went to the store and they did not have my prescription. This went on for 6 months. A sane person would have stopped after 2, but me, no. I continued. But after 6 months, I had enough. And I started a boycott of Duane Reade. Haven't been to a Duane Reade this whole time. 20 years I have been boycotting Duane Reade. And you know what happened? After 20 years, they were bought out by Walgreens. That's all me, yo. I told you.
Hi, I'm Shelly Colman. And that was me. And this is me now. This is the Funny Women of a Certain Age podcast. And this is episode number 12, which means we've been doing this for 6 months, which means that I'm going to take this opportunity to do a little retrospective. Actually, what it means is that Carol Montgomery and Leanne Lord are busy, and I'm going to do it all by myself. So there. But I will have some virtual help, because I'm going to reintroduce you to every guest we've had on the podcast since we started. We're going to go in order so you don't get confused. Back in July of 2024, our first guest was Liz Glazer. Liz Glazer is an award-winning comic. She's an actor. She's a writer. She won first place in the Boston Comedy Festival. She was a winner in the Ladies of Laughter competition. She's been featured in the Wall Street Journal. Why has she been featured in the Wall Street Journal? Well, aside from the fact that she's delightful, it's because she's also a tenured law professor. And if that's not funny, I don't know what is. So here's Liz Glazer.
So, no, I was on a basketball team, and this is true. I was on a basketball team at the JCC, so it's already bad, okay? And that's Jewish Community Center. Okay, whatever. Good Shabbos, you're not Jewish. Okay, it doesn't matter. I'm married to a rabbi, by the way. Yeah, what's that like? It means I can't post nudes to Instagram, but... And my wife is a rabbi. You know, it's a woman rabbi, so I braid her long beard every night before bed. No, it's just a mustache. She's reformed. But anyway, so... no, my wife is a lesbian too, I'm pretty sure. No, when I came out, my parents were like really not into it. You know, my mom was like Elizabeth, and I go by Liz, but it's like my mother paid for every letter, you know, of my name. And vowels are expensive, so she was like, Elizabeth, what are we gonna tell everyone at shul, at synagogue, if you're a lesbian? Then I started dating a rabbi. She's like, hold on, I'm proud, okay? So anyway, but I was on the JCC basketball team. This is just for you, okay? How lesbian? Like she addressed her set to one woman. I mean, if I was single, that's like probably what I would do. But anyway, now I feel like I'm sexually harassing you, but I don't mean to. I probably am. Like, that's, I think, the difference between men and women is, like, if God forbid I even maybe was sexually harassing anyone, I'm like, send me to HR in handcuffs. And men are like, it wasn't me. I'm like, it probably was me. Even if I didn't talk to her, it was me. So anyway, back to me hitting on you. So I was on this basketball team, okay? This is really 100% true. And I was on the team for like the whole time, but I only got the ball once the whole season. Like, you get a ball once in a season, it's an accident that you even have it. And I stood there, I'm like, what do you do when you get the ball in basketball? And I like was very petrified, like looking around. Finally, I passed the ball to the referee, okay?
You can find out more about Liz, like, for instance, where she's going to be performing and how, in fact, she got into law by going to her website, which is dearlizglazer.com. Our second guest is Julia Scotti. Julia Scotti is also a writer. She's a public speaker. She was on America's Got Talent, has a stand-up comedy special on Showtime, and has been around in one way or another for quite some time. So let's get into some comedy from Julia Scotti.
I'm trans. You know that, right? I don't know if that was brought up. Hey, the one thing I don't like is wearing a bra. God damn. Yeah, I don't like it. I mean, these are real. I grew these on my own. Raised them from pups. It's so funny because I went to my class reunion a couple of years ago. I mean, it was a stupid thing to even go, but somebody walked up to me, a friend of mine, and we're talking. She goes, hey, you look great. Did you have work done? Yeah. I transitioned about 23 years now. Yeah. It was a different time back then, too. There wasn't a whole lot of us back then. There really weren't. Now, of course, we're everywhere. No, we are. Yeah. You can't swing a dead prostate without hitting one of us. And back then, I needed a support system. If you know trans people, that's what they need. They need love. They need support. For me, it was the women in my life, that were there for me. You saw Kate, but my friends too. They took me everywhere. They took me shopping. They taught me how to put makeup on. They even chipped in. And they sent me to lady camp for a week. There's no such place as lady camp. You Canadians are way too naive. Come on, lady camp. They were, but the men in my life, not so much. Strangely, they didn't take it well. It turns out that men are kind of sensitive about, the pee-pee. I had one. Men always tend to think of it as being cut off. You got to cut off. They cut it off. They cut it off. Like they have a little pee-pee guillotine. They fly me over to Paris. There's a little guy with a pencil-thin mustache and a cigarette. He goes, "You going to get the pee-pee cut off? Okay, move the pee-pee closer. Move the pee-pee closer. And boom, voila! You are a woman now. Ah!
You can find out more about Julia and follow her on juliascotti.com. After Julia, we talked to Rhonda Handsome, another multi-hyphenate person. Rhonda Handsome is a writer, a director, an actor, a singer. Oh my goodness, so many people have done so many things, and Rhonda's one of them. Leanne Lord and I chatted with Rhonda for about an hour and covered all kinds of things. We talked about what's wrong with these kids today, in the literal sense of talking about how to fix education. We talked about the ethics of double dutch. We covered a lot, but we didn't cover this. So here she is, to speak for herself, Rhonda Handsome.
Young people, where are my millennials? Applaud my millennials. Yeah. on the edge anytime I leave a place without first going to the bathroom. That's my extreme sport. I don't make fun of millennials. No, I do not make fun of millennials because you should not mock the poor. Well, I need somebody to show me how to do Instagram. Oh my God, these labels, we have such, I'm sick of the labels. You know, millennials, boomers, Generation X, Y, and Z. We're at the end of the alphabet. What's next, the periodic table? Generation Zinc. I do John Fugelsang's show every Monday on Sirius XM Progress, and it's a political talk show. And I'm a new contributor to Politipod. It is a fun political podcast. And sometimes I get very passionate about politics. And one of my friends said, "You should run for office." No. I should not run for office with my checkered history and questionable background. I'd have to run as a Republican.
Want to follow Rhonda Handsome? Of course you do. Rhonda Handsome, that's HANSOME.com. Find out where she's going to be next. Now, our next guest was Barb North. And Barb North has the distinction of being Carol Montgomery's manager and the manager of many other comics. She lives in Los Angeles, performs there. She used to perform with her husband, but not anymore.
Wow, I love you guys. I haven't even introduced. I'm Barb. I'm 75 years old. Yes, I am. Thank you. Yeah. I get such good response when I say that. I'm actually 45, but I like saying, no, I'm not. I am. I'm 75 years old. I really am. 1947 on the planet, 75 years. I'm married. Yes, I've been married for 55 years. 55 years, and it goes so fast. It feels more like 52 years. I'm just saying. And we have what we would call a more traditional marriage in that, you know, he's been a guy the whole time. Yeah. I tried being bisexual. In that if he would buy me things, I would have sex with him. Wasn't really, you know, what he's always saying is marriage isn't that bad if you don't mind having sex once a year. I know. Yeah, me too. I want to know who he's having sex with. That is just, yeah. And a little more about myself. I was born Jewish and raised Catholic, which is, yeah, a lot of guilt. I know. Yeah, and it's different kinds of guilt. You know, Catholic guilt, everything you enjoy is a sin. And Jewish guilt, everything you enjoy will hurt your mother. And then I went to the Catholic convent school. Yeah. And I was the only Jew in, you know, the Catholic, yeah. So of course, when it came time for the nativity play, I was cast as Mary because all the other girls were Catholic girls and I was the only virgin.
Barb's website is comedynorth.com. If you want to find out where she's going to be, you can go there. Also, she is a public speaker and a mediator. So if you got something you need mediated, Barb North could be your gal. Jane Condon was our next guest. Jane and Leanne and I have known each other for quite some time. We've had meals together, which we discussed in that episode. That was episode 8, in case you're following along in your notebooks. Jane is from Massachusetts, or as she says, right outside Boston, but now she lives in Greenwich, Connecticut, and is a nice Greenwich, Connecticut mom. Here she is, Jane Condon.
You ever ask your spouse or boyfriend or girlfriend a no-win question? I say to my husband, honey, are you physically attracted to other women? This is a no-win question. It's like saying, am I getting fat? If he says yes, he's in trouble. If he says no, you know he's lying. Nevertheless, I say, honey, are you physically attracted to other women? Well, he looks me straight in the eye, and he says, oh no, dear. I am blinded by your beauty. That is the correct answer. Yeah, that is the correct answer. And I always like to ask people how long they were married. There was a British couple once, and the guy said, we've been married for 18 years, but with the wind chill, it feels like 22. I did a show in Atlantic City, later married for 41 years. I'm like, oh my God, how did you do it? And she looked up from the audience and said, well, I wouldn't recommend it. I did a show at Kenya, and it's totally adorable older couple. Had been married for 67 years, and they, you two are amazing. Can you stand up and tell us all your names? And the old lady couldn't get up. And her husband couldn't remember his name. It was awful. Oh my God, it was so bad. Oh my God. Anyway, the bad news about my husband is that he snores. Does anybody else live with someone who snores? Oh, I have been awake since 1978. It's so bad, I've categorized them. Basically, there are three. The first one is the cave, the The second one is the stalled engine, don't die, we'll do the taxes. And the last one is the after-sex snore. It doesn't happen that often. Thank you very much.
Jane's website is, oddly enough, janecondon.com. Okay, episode 9. We talked to someone who is known as the Queen of Happy Things, but I'm going to let her introduce herself. Here she is.
My name is Missy Hall. I am so happy to be here. I'm so happy to be here. I am a rescue wife. Let me explain. I have been rehomed several times. You don't have to get sad and sing that Killing the Puppies song. I'm good, you guys. I have found my forever home. Yes. My new husband even has one of those Who Rescued Who bumper stickers. This time I married a man a lot younger than I am. Yeah, my husband, 13 years younger than me. You know what that means. Amazing tech support. That is. He can make all the apps on my phone do what an app is supposed to be doing. Yeah. And it's funny, a lot of times if people are like, that's a big gap. That is a big gap. Does it ever make conversation awkward? And really, the only time we notice it is when we're talking about music. Because think about it, music's a time machine, isn't it? You hear a song, you are right back where you were the first time you heard it, right? Think in 1984. I'm in the Milford, Delaware roller skating rink. I am couple skating with Michael Milford. Once upon a time, there was light in my life. My husband's like 1984. I'm in my footy pajamas. pajamas. I'm eating cereal, watching TV. Take a look, it's in a book. Rainbow. Yes, that is where we are as people.
That was Missy Hall, MissyHallComedy.com. Missy lives in Delaware, travels around with the Funny Women of a Certain Age tour sometimes, and also performs online. She and her husband do a live stream on every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock, and you can find out about that by going to her website, of course, MissyHallComedy.com. Sticking with Connecticut, we decided to talk to Linda Belt. Linda has a fascinating past. She's not just a stand-up comic. She was also an actor. And she's done some interesting things in her life, not the least of which is pole dancing.
Your body's your temple, right? Your body's enjoy it. Your body's your temple. Mine's like a haunted house at a carnival. It's strange sounds, strange smells. You know what's coming around that bend. It ain't pretty. I babe it up though, sir. Here's a visual for you. Put your hands where I can see them. You making me nervous. I took a pole dancing class. There's a visual for you, sir. Not everything on me is so firm except that grip on the pole. I was like this. And I figured it was good practice for eventually when I needed something to hold on to, you know, like a walker. You know. I was actually looking for the tennis ball on the bottom of my pole. And there we were, 4 middle-aged women, 4 idiots taking a pole dancing class in the middle of the day. And our instructor one day said, girls, today I want you to pretend there are men in here. Talk to them, dance for them. I was a 60-year-old woman taking a pole dancing class, as if that wasn't delusional enough. Now I was talking to imaginary men. This class was so hard, I was so winded, I actually went over to talk to my imaginary man. And I asked him if he was a paramedic and if he had oxygen.
You can find her, of course, at lindabelt.com. And our most recent guest was Jess Miller. Jess also, conveniently, lives in New England. We got to branch out, I think. Maybe somewhere in the Midwest. Anyway, Jess Miller is one of the kindest, nicest, most big-hearted people you will ever meet. She does a lot of benefit shows. Her website is jessmillercomedy.com, and you can find out about all of the good work she's done. Now, keep in mind, she's really a very nice person while you're listening to this clip.
Everybody can see you on your phone. What are you doing? Where'd you go? What's happening? You're texting? Can I see your phone? Let me see your phone. Just... That was stupid. You can't be on your phone while comics are up here trying to entertain you. Where are your text messages? Oh, Will. You were texting Will? 69 text messages. I'm going to start on Monday, March 7th. First of all, it's never a good idea. It's very rude. This is very rude behavior to bring your phone. And this is how I handle it. Now, what is your name? Lissa? Lissette. Okay. Prior to bringing, you would have hated me as a teacher? Oh, you would have fucking hated me as a teacher. This is Audible. Chapter 1. Good morning. Good morning. Chapter 2. What you doing? I'm working, and you? Chapter 3. Good morning. Good morning! Someone's phone just rang and it just went beep. Oh, this is going to be embarrassing, I know. What happened to your phone? It just stopped. What happened? It just stopped. We're on chapter 3. Did you do that? You did that with your fucking smartwatch? That's the best type of way to fix your fucking phone. Well, that's shit now.
That was Jess. She's a sweetheart, but don't cross her. I've mentioned Leanne Lord a couple of times. Leanne is one of my co-hosts on this show. She has several books she's written. She is a public speaker. She is a Star Trek nerd. She's in fact many kinds of nerd, but oh man, is she funny.
I saw a list of 28 serial killers and their zodiac signs. 10 of them were Virgos. What? I'm sorry, I just think that makes sense. Because we are meticulous. Okay, we're gonna get the job done, we're gonna get it done right. And we're gonna get caught. Because we want credit. I would probably turn myself in. Like, I don't know what suspects you looking at, but I'm the one out here killing it. This ain't no group project, son. And just so we're clear, everybody, I do not want to be a serial killer. Serial killing's a hobby. Assassin is a career.
You can catch up with Leanne at veryfunnylady.com. And then finally, but by no means least, Carol Montgomery. Carol, of course, is the woman who started Funny Women of a Certain Age. She's the one who managed to get three specials on Showtime with a whole bunch of different funny women. And she's the one you're going to want to follow to find out about all of the shows that are coming up. She travels all around the country. She's been all around the world. She's performed with everybody. She knows everybody. I would say she likes everybody, but that's an outright lie. So here she is, Carol Montgomery.
Right, so I love being this age. I really do. And here's the thing. I never knew ageism existed until I got into my 60s. Do you know what I mean? You know, because right now, if I had to choose between ageism or sexism, I would take a pat on the ass because it meant somebody fucking noticed me. Are we all New Yorkers here tonight? Yeah. This is so fun. No tourists. Because I live in Midtown Manhattan and I deal with the tourists all the time. But, so we all live in New York, so I have to ask this. So I live in one of those old buildings from like the 30s. You know, is your heat still on? Oh my fucking God. I mean, everyone's like, I want to live in New York. No, you don't. You don't want to live. It's too fucking hot. So here's the deal. So I live in one of those apartments. In like November, the heat goes on and it does not go off. Okay, right? Okay. So here's the problem. So it's so fucking hot in my apartment. And then I open up the window. Right? Get cold. Then it gets too cold. So I close it. Then it gets too hot. So I open it. Then it gets too... And I realize something. My apartment is going through menopause.
And of course, you can follow Carol at carolmontgomery.com. That's it so far. Of course, that's not all the funny women of a certain age. That's not even all the funny women. Our next episode will feature Carrie Louise from Last Comic Standing, Tough Crowd with Colin Quinn, and The View. In the meanwhile, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for following us. And by all means, check out these websites, find out where these funny women are going to be. And thanks very much for supporting live comedy and for supporting this podcast. I'm Shelly Colman. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.